So I will record each of the days. So if you ever want to go back and watch the recording or see the homework that's posted. So let's take a look at, I'm not up there yet, am I? No. Yay. All right, so I got a graph. Let me reduce this a smidge. Ooh, here comes a sneeze. Nope, it went away. All right, so problem number one. We'll make sure the ones on the final, they all fit on the graph. The big problem with problem number one is my graph is going to work because my graph goes positive 12 to negative 12. But let's, and then make sure you put down any notes on some of these to give you a reminder. So the top one is done to do the cover method. Agree? Do you remember that method? Where we go 0, comma, blank, and blank, comma, 0, and that tells us where it crosses the x and the y axis. And we know to do that when the x and the y are on the same side. So if I cover up the x value, I get negative 2y equals 11, which is y equals negative 11 over 2, which is negative 5.5. So in the y direction, we're at negative 5.5, so that's down here. Oops. And then the other one, if I do the cover method, if I cover up, oops, I already made a mistake. Boy, it can't take me anywhere. So, oh no, that was right. So 0, negative 5.5, which is down here. And then I have, if I cover up the y value, I get x equals 11. And that's kind of where the error had taken place with this. So that's basically what that one looks like. The unfortunate thing is if you have negative 10 to positive 10, the 11 would be a little bit off. So I think if it's just one off, I think you should be all right. But we'll make sure the ones on the final work. This one is not the cover method. This is, I have a y-intercept. So my y-intercept is at 0, 12. So this is y equals mx plus b. So on mine's going to fit without any problem because I go up to 12. And then remember, I have a slope. The slope is attached to the x value. So from this point, I'm going to go down 3, right 1. And if I draw my line of best fit, it's blue. You get something that looks like that. So then you look, and if you take a look at your answers, does negative 3 comma negative 7 even appear? So negative 3, negative 7 is like down here. Does that appear where they cross? Yeah. Yeah, 0-12. That's the y-intercept. You got it? Figured out? Cool. So the negative 3x is where the slope goes. So I plot the y-intercept, 0, 12. Then I come down 3, go right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1 each time. All right, so does everyone feel that answer A can't work? Okay, and the reason I'm showing you this is because you know as well as I, most of the time when you draw a graph, you're freehanding it. Yes? So we might be on the process that we can say, hey, we can eliminate some of them pretty easily. So 6, negative 6. So 6, negative 6. That's down here. So that one might lead you a little bit thinking, oh, it could be that. if you drew really, really poorly. But then, as you go through and you decipher things, 5, -3 is about here. So being I freehanded it, I think this has got to be my answer. Hey, when does the no solution take place with graphing? Yeah, if you have two lines that are parallel, so that's a no solution. So what I'm trying to show you is sometimes there's a way that even if you're like looking at your graph going, gosh, I might be off a little bit, I'm not sure where I made a mistake. Well, then because it's multiple choice, start thinking about, gosh, that's got to be the closest point. I'm not going to give you a no solution if they're not parallel lines. Okay? So is there any questions for problem number 1, or you feel comfortable with that? Okay? Problem number 2, anybody need to see that? You feel comfortable? Yeah.
Do I have to remember?
It's multiple choice, so if you just put answers only, and you write them onto the Scantron, I have no idea what work you showed. You either get it right or wrong. So that's sometimes the tough thing is in tests that aren't multiple choice, I can award partial credit for work shown. This one, right or wrong. That's kind of the stinker.
Because I usually don't show my work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. All right, problem 2, yes, no? Want to see it? No, you didn't see it? Okay. All right, so let's see if this worked. Paste. Okay, good. All right, so problem number 2, we have y equals 2x minus 1, and we have y equals -1/2 x plus 4. So neither of these are cover method. This is 0, -1 for a y-intercept. And then I have a slope of 2 over 1. So from this point, I'm going to go up 2, right 1. And then the second problem, same idea. Here's a y-intercept at 0, 4. And I have a slope of -1 over 2. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1, right 2. So this one seemed pretty okay. It looks like 2, 3 is where they cross. So, I do. I have 2, 3 as an answer. So that'd be D. Okay. You can get rid of the infinite solutions. When do infinite solutions happen when graphing? No solutions when they're parallel. What's the infinite solution? Yeah, it's when the two lines are the exact same line. It lies right on top of itself. But we don't have it as y equals x plus 7 and y equals x plus 7. We usually have it like one is y equals x plus 7 and then one is x plus y, or -x plus y equals 7 or something like that. Okay. All right. Feel good about number 2? Number 3. We have so neither of these right now are set up for cover method or slope intercept or anything like that because they're just all kind of just goofy. Okay, so we might have to manipulate the problem a little bit. We can maybe change this one. We'll maybe add 9 to both sides. And once we do that, the cover method will work. So 0, blank, blank, 0. So I'll cover up the x, so I get 0, 9. Cover up the y, -x equals 9, so -9. So there's the first problem. Second problem, I don't know if I would do cover method at this point. I'd probably add 5x to both sides, bring this over, and then also subtract 10 from both sides. So those cancel and those cancel. So that gives me 5x plus 2y equals negative 10. And then this is then set up again to do the cover method. So 0 comma blank, blank comma 0. So cover up the x values. So 2y equals negative 10, so I get negative 5 here. So 0, negative 5 is here. Oh, I'd be a much better teacher if I knew my positives and negatives. And then there's a y value plug in, so I get negative 2. So this one, again, we're kind of doing the best we can to graph it, trying to graph by hand. So this kind of looks like negative 4 comma 4, but we won't know for sure until we look at our answers. Oh, what does number 3 say? Solve for y. Isn't this the y value? Okay, so if that's the y value, our answer has to be C. Okay, so watch out when you read it. Yes, sometimes if we have a graph provided, we probably want you to graph it, but it might ask for just one or the other component. Okay, so that's tougher because on those other problems, if you totally get stuck on the other problems, you can plug both your x and y points into each of the equations, and there's only one of them that would be true and true on. That one, I don't give you both. I don't give you the point. I just ask you for a portion of it. Questions on 3? We go okay. 4. Insert. Paste. Number 4 looks like this. Let's see. Y equals 1/2 x plus 5. And then y equals negative 2x. These aren't cover method. These are, I have a y-intercept at 0, 5. And a slope of 1/2. So up 1, right 2. And then this one, we have to realize we could do a plus 0. So my y-intercept is 0 comma 0. And then I have a slope of negative 2 over 1. So down 2, right 1. So let's see. Solve the system. It's looking, I'm just speculating, negative 2 comma 3. Do I have an answer that's that?
No.
No, so the closest would be C, yeah. So the C value says negative 2 comma 4. So I might have had a small error in my graphing. 2 comma 7. 2 comma 7 is like up here. Negative 2 comma negative 4 is down here. Negative 2, 4, as far as my graph goes, is about here. And then 4, negative 2 is about here. So again, if you go and you graph it, we're going to have them spread out enough that you're like, I can pretty much say no, no, no. It's got to be this one. Okay? So again, where did I make an error? Well, because I was freehand drawing it. I'm not going to be perfect every time when I graph them. Okay, so we can go through and use kind of a process of elimination from the answers. So my friends, those are just a few on graphing. And again, this is being recorded. So please know if you're like, okay, I'm kind of struggling with that, I can do that. But also know something here. A final exam is not designed for students to get 100% on. And that's where a lot of anxiety takes place on math problems. You think you have to sequentially do every problem and get every problem perfect. And as soon as you get to a problem that becomes tough, it like ruins your day. The best way to take a math test is go through and do every problem that you know how to do and get it right. And then go back to the problems that are tougher. Don't allow yourself to get the anxiety of, oh my gosh, I can't finish that. That's the nature of a math test, okay? It's not every student earns an A. It's okay. It really is okay. There's 5 letter grades that you earn, okay? It's never designed so 100% of the students can say, oh, I'm going to come in and ace it. Very few of you have aced any one particular test that we had done at the time. But, the nice thing is this is made a little bit easier than the actual unit test was when we did the graphing, but it covers a broad amount of information. So please, when you're doing the test, there's times I'll walk around and, be 20 minutes into the test, and I'll see somebody still, like, oh, I'm going to get number one. I'm going to get number one. You're going to run out of time. Okay, this test is designed to take 40 to 45 minutes. You have 80 minutes. Okay? Everyone should be able to get it done, but sitting there staring at a problem that you don't have a concept of how to do isn't helping you master what you know. Show me what you know. Do the problems you know how to do first and get them right, and then go back. I can't emphasize that enough. And it becomes silly, but it's a good test taking practice. I had a student one time. They came in and they were in Algebra 1 and they took the ACT, I think it was. And they said, oh, there's a lot of math on there that you didn't teach me. Yeah, the ACT goes through calculus. Okay, the ACT isn't designed to show that a kid in Algebra 1 has all of the math knowledge. There is a lot of math classes that take place. Okay? So you do what you know how to do and you get it right, and then you keep, it's okay to skip around on a test. You're not upsetting me if you're like, you know what, I did really well in the exponents chapter, so that's going to be at the end of the test, so I'm going to go do all those problems first. That's not upsetting me. That's good test-taking practices. So please know that it's really okay that there might be some problems that you might not remember. Don't get hung up on it. So, Mr. Strip, I don't know how to do this problem. Okay, move on. Do the next one. Do you have a question? No. Okay. Philip, you had something. 4. I put C. Yeah, even though when I graphed it, it looked like my graph was like that's the only point that's as close as possible. And the reason my graph wasn't perfect was I freehand drew it. I wasn't using a ruler and stuff. At the what? You get this one? So you agree with that point? And then you agree with that point that I went down 2, right 1? So I went down 2, right 1? Because of the slope? Is that your question? Okay. All right. Can I go to number 5?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, so friends, I have a question for you. Being a Scantron, do you think I have any idea if you use substitution, elimination, or graphing? No. I'm not going back to your test going, I hope they use substitution, because if they didn't. No, you're just having an answer put. But if I were to use substitution on this, I could take this value and this and set them both equal to each other. I'm not going to set y equals y, but I'm going to go, well, 2x plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 5. Now let's solve for x. So maybe subtract 2x from both sides. So that gives me 4 equals x plus 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. So I get x equals -1. Okay, so here's where I want you, once you get to this point, I want you to stop at this problem. Like, does everyone feel comfortable? X equals -1. Okay, look at your answers. Are there 2 of them that I can get rid of right away? Why is that? They don't have a -1. So C and D, you can cross off. Okay? So like, let's say you're like, oh,
It's B.
well, hang on. We don't need to go jump. We're not trying to prove this. I'm just trying to give you a good testing technique. But I'm trying to verify why I can eliminate two of the choices. So think about it. If you had four choices to choose from, and let's say you're like, I don't feel totally 100% comfortable doing this problem. If you can get to this point here, you can get down to eliminating two of the choices, and then you have going, oh, it's either A or B. I'm not sure which one it is, but let's say you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Well, now you have a 1 in 2 chance of getting it correct versus a 1 in 4 chance of getting it correct. Okay? So if you're like, okay, I know that the x value is this, so I could take that x value and plug it into either of those, and it'll give me the same answer. I'll choose the top one. And what did you say it was, Maddox? B? Okay, let's take a look. So I get that. Okay, so I have a y value of that. Yeah, -1 comma 2 is our B answer. Okay? Now, letter A, -1, -2. Boy, if you make a sign error, you might get stuck choosing the wrong one. But just realize a good test taking skill would be saying, can I eliminate some of my options? Okay, so again, let's go back and say, all right, we're going to go do all the problems we know how to do well, and we're going to get those correct. And then I'm going to go back to the tougher ones that I didn't know. Say you get to go back to number 5, and you're like, gosh, I kind of remember doing this. Okay, I think I can get to this point. That's great. Wait, that just takes me down to 2 last choices. What can it be? Well, a 50-50 shot, it's a flip of a coin. Okay? So I'm just trying to instill some good test-taking strategies. And these strategies don't just apply to this classroom and this math. This applies to any standardized test that you take. Okay? So, again, if you go and you do the ones you know how to do well, you're going to come out being satisfied with, you did the best you could. Okay, this one says, again, it directs us to do substitution. So I know that y is equal to this. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in here. Now, friends, where do you think an error is going to be made right here? Where do you think I'm going to make an error? Distribute. What am I distributing? -2. Okay, a lot of people say, oh, I'm just going to distribute 2. Well, friends, please remember, if you have a negative preceding, that negative gets to distributed with both. So then I get 4x minus 4x minus 2 equals -1. Those cancel, so I wind up with something that looks like this. Yeah, there's not a solution to that one. Why is there not a solution? Because we're pretty confident that -2 and -1 are not the same number. Yeah. Where you at? Number 5. Oh, I plugged this value back in up here for one or the other, and then I solved it. Okay. Okay, so be cautious on this one because, this one you might be fortunate if you distributed the -2 just to the 2x and you didn't distribute it to the 1, you might be okay. But just be aware that if you have a negative sign preceding something that's being distributed over, that -2 goes to both of those terms. Can I move off number 6? Go to number 7. Okay, this one, if we are just so confident that we can do substitution, that's great. That means get one of the letters by itself. They say just to solve the system. I guess you could try and graph it, but I don't give you a graph. But let's say you're like, oh, you know what? I could totally graph this. I can do cover method on the top, 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. I get -3 and I get -3, so 0, 0, -3 is down here. -3 zeros over here. Okay, so here's my first one. And then, oh, if I do the cover method on this one, it's going to get a little messier. So if I cover up the x, I get y is 1, 0, 1 is up here. And then I get, oh, if I cover up the y, I get 1/5. Ew. So if 1's here, here's like 1/5. Shoot. Okay. We probably could have. Well, let's say we chose to do graphing. So let's see. -2 comma -2. -2 comma -2 is right here. Do you think even though I don't have a really good graph, do you think I could probably not say that's the answer? I mean, that's not even close. Oh, I'm on the wrong one? Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't looked at number 7.
That's an answer
8. Oh, I'm doing number 7. I have an answer for number 8. Okay, let's go back to answer A. They give us -4, -1, -4, -1. I'm pretty sure that's not right. Yeah. Do you need another mask? Yeah, be right back. Or do you want me to change my mask? Oh, you need another. Okay. I'm bringing you 4. I don't suggest wearing all of them at the same time. All right. So, do we feel comfortable that A is not the answer? And then, let's see, B, they said 1 comma -4. 1 comma -4. That's a big maybe. That's obviously a no. -1, 4. That's a big no. And -1, -4. I'm pretty confident to say that's a no. So this maybe, I'm pretty sure it's got to be our answer. So 1, -4, B. Cool. So substitution might have led you easier, but some people might choose to say, you know what, I'm going to try and sketch a graph, right? Substitution might be a better way to do it. But let's say you're like, I can't remember substitution. Right? I'm okay with graphing. So I'm just trying to give you some techniques that you might want to use. Does everyone see how I'm using the process of elimination with my answers? Okay. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not going to give you answers of 1 -4, 2 -4, 0 -4, 1 -3. I'm not going to cluster my answers. My answers are going to be blatantly wrong if you made your graph correct. Okay? Number 8. This is the one I tried to sneak one of the answers on number 8 on number 7. Didn't work real well for me. What do you think, friends? Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you look at this, notice this. These are the exact opposite answers. If I add these together, I'm going to get 4x equals 8.
X equals 2.
And then x equals 2. And then I'm going to stop there.
You can go back and plug it in.
I'm going to stop there. So take a look at your answers. Does everyone feel confident that our x value is 2? Take a look at the answers. Which one does it have to be?
D.
Has to be D. If you can get to this point saying, I'm with confidence knowing this, okay, I got D. Now let's say D isn't sticking out right away for you. Then you say, okay, I'm going to take this value here. I'm going to plug it in either here or here. It doesn't matter which one. I'll plug it in the top one. Subtract 2, subtract 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Cancel y equals 2. Oh, totally worked. D is 2 comma 2. Okay? So let's say that one had come down to two of the answers had 2 in the X position. Then you might have to shove it back into one of the questions. If you can't remember, well, you've just eliminated one from 4 choices to 2 choices if that took place on this problem. So again, utilize the good test taking skills in order to do this. Yeah. Yeah, but I had to subtract 2 first, so I got to 4. Is that all right? May I move on, friends? Okay. Now, number 9 looks very similar to number 8. It's kind of stacked on top of each other. You think it's a no solution? I think you might be right. Minus 2y equals 6. So in order to do this problem, notice these and these, they're the exact same thing. So if I take one of my equations and multiply everything by -1 and bring it down underneath this, I get -3x plus 2y equals 8. If I distribute a -1 over there. Okay? If I add these two together right now, those cancel, so I get 0 equals 14. Did we just decipher the world's biggest unknown? No, this is such a bad thing. So we have no solution, which we might put, and no real solution. Okay, but it's going to be D. It's going to be quite obvious. I'm not going to put a no solution and then put a no real solution, but we'll probably have no real solution for the answer rather than just have a no solution. I don't know. Okay, so friends, that takes care of the systems. And again, this is being recorded. This is the first, 32 minutes. So if you wanted to go back, watch the video and, study for it a little bit. The video will be posted here in a little bit. Let's go to number 10. It says, find the value of two numbers if their sum is 21 and their difference is 7. So sum is 21, difference is 7. Sum means add, difference means subtract.
You do x plus 7 equals 21.
You get that? Divide each side by 2. X equals 14. So friends, look down at the answers. What answer does it have to be? It has to be B. That's the only one with an answer of 14 in there. Well, what's the other answer? Well, we already found one of them, and we don't have 14 listed twice. Okay, now, if we had 14 listed twice, so maybe we'll say, okay, I'll take this x value, I'm going to plug it in here or here, doesn't matter, I'll take the top one. 14 plus y equals 21, that was an x value. Subtract 14, so y equals 7. Oh, yeah, that verifies 7 and 14, that's B. Okay, but sometimes you might be able to finish the problem without completing it because it's multiple choice. Or you could take it down to going from 4 choices to 2 choices. Even 4 choices to 3 choices is a better chance of getting it right if you're not sure how to do the whole thing. So again, it's just a logical way of going through and doing your test and doing it quite well. Questions? Are we okay? Yeah.
Couldn't I have just subtracted 7 from 21 at the beginning?
Maybe. It might have worked out.
Said, the value of two numbers, if the sum is 21 and the difference is 7, I would just be able to that I could check 7 from 21.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because if I sum 9 and 12, I'd get 21, but then the difference of 9 and 12 is not 7, so you can eliminate A. 9 and 15 gives me 24, so you can kick that one out, and then 11 and 6 is 17, so that's not going to, yeah, I like that. That's another good way of looking at it, just using a little of logic. All right, let's see. So number 11, I think number 11 and number 18 are the exact same problem. Hopefully they have the same answer.
They do have the same answer.
Good.
And the same order of answer.
Okay, oh, that's even better. All right, so can I drop the parentheses or do I have to distribute anything over these?
Distribute a 1 and
Yeah, so you distribute a 1, which means you drop the parentheses. Good. And then we combine like terms. Well, these are like terms because they're both x to the fourth. So 8 minus 5 is 3, so I get 3x to the fourth. Oh, that should have been an 8x, shouldn't it? Right? And then I have an 8x. And then these are the same, so that gives me plus 7. So looks like letter C. And on number 18, it's also letter C. So 11 and 18, we give you the same exact answer. I'll tell you, we can't do math. Yeah. Added. Yeah, there was only a single x term. Yeah. Okay. Number 12 would be on this type of problem where people might make a mistake because you have to remember to distribute a negative number. Okay, so I could drop the first set of parentheses, no problem. Second set of parentheses, I need to make sure I distribute a negative and change all the signs. And then we're going to look, okay, I have that, only one, or I have two of them. So if I go negative 4 plus 2, it gives me negative 2b to the fourth. And then I have this one and this one, so that gives me negative 15b squared. And then that is negative 6. So 2b to the fourth minus 15b squared minus 6. Answer has to be A. Okay? So again, this might be one that you make sure you know. Distribute the negative. Okay? This gets distributed here, here, and here to make those signs that. Okay? Can I go to 13? 13, we're just foiling it together. So this is a FOIL problem. Okay, so I'm going to go that, so that gives me 8p squared. That gives me plus 48p minus 3p minus 18. So I get 8p squared. Those are like terms. 48 minus 3 is 45. Is that D? Agree? Can I move on? 14. 4x plus 8. 2x plus 1. This is another FOIL. Or double distribute if you choose to use that terminology. These are like terms. Look for the answer. Letter B. I'll take it. All right, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just tired.
I understand. Can I move on? 15. This is a just distribute over the parentheses.
You can stop after the first one because there's only one answer 28.
Oh, good keen eye. Agree? I like it. I mean, we'll come out with this. So it is letter C, but because there was only one that had a 28k squared in there, you could have stopped right there. I'm saving all kinds of time. I like it. 16. Really? So I'm going to distribute, so I get 2x to the third. I only have one of the answers. It's got to be A. I'll finish up the problem, but you could stop right there. But you're going to get plus 12x squared minus 8x for the whole answer. But because only one of the answers had 2x to the third in it, you could have stopped early. Wow. We didn't follow the same trend on number 17, though. I'm sorry. That's an n. So these are like terms, 32n squared minus 52n plus 6. Looks like answer B. And then number 18 we already did. That was the same as what? 11. Same as 11. And then number 19, 3a, 2a plus b. And they just want us to distribute. So 6a squared, nope, can't jump anything out, plus 3ab. Looks like letter B, I think. Okay, so friends, by tomorrow, let me just double check something. Courses, module 1. I would say try or look at problems 20 through 42. And again, my friends, I'm not checking these off for points. Okay, I'm just saying bring this back each day because one, Sarah let the cat out of the bag. You get to use this on the final. The kid is like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Okay. When everyone else is sitting there going, oh, that's how you do number 3. Oh, I don't have my review packet. I found 3 of these in the trash can outside my door from one of my periods yesterday. It's sad to me. Yeah.
Why were you looking at that?
Because you know the how they've had the bag, it's up at the top. It was like the 3 of them are just on, and I'm just like, why are there 3 of my things that I just handed out in the trash can right outside that door?
I don't like your name.
I was garbage picking. See if someone threw money away. You never know. So, all right. So, this will be. I will tell you what we go over on Friday. I will give problems to look at on Friday, but I'll have to make a video because we'll run out of time. It'll be a video to go over the last ones. So it's your choice. What if you're going to do it or not. So I'm going to stop recording now.